Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, whatever time zone you're watching this from. Good day to you. Actually wasn't supposed to be, well, not supposed to be, but I didn't plan on actually hopping on today actually, because originally today I was supposed to have studio session. Unfortunately, had to get canceled because of the artist schedule. Not a big deal, life happens. So we're back on here today. Ooh, what happened over here? Oh, we're good. Okay, cool. We're gonna wait for Logic to load up. Oh wait, I gotta do something on YouTube, I think. But anyways, is my mic too hot? Oh, my mic is too hot. That's what I was hearing. Cool, there we go. So, if this is your first time tuning in, whether you're watching this live, whether you're watching this as a replay, if this is your first time stumbling on this channel, my name is El Marquis. I'm a musician, rapper, record producer, unashamed press follower. I make content that pretty much mostly revolves around music production, but also I give tips, advice, gems, all that type of stuff to independent artists and producers all around the world. And the general purpose of all of my content, as well as this live stream, is to educate, empower, inspire, and entertain other like-minded producers, other like-minded independent artists, specifically independent artists, just because that's the scene and the culture that I identify with the most. And even just like just general fans of music. This is meant to basically I make beats live in the stream, and I allow people to come through, watch, take notes if there's someone who's maybe just starting out with production and maybe they're looking for some quick inspiration, or if they need any tips that will point them in the right direction for their own music creation. We do all of that over here in this live stream. That's the general purpose of it, all in a nutshell. There was an idea that I wanted to try out for this one. Unfortunately, I wasn't prepared to do. I don't want to get into like too many details of it because I think it would be a cool concept to do anyways. But there was like a new piece of technology that I was actually introduced to off of watching someone else's YouTube video who I'm a big fan of. And originally I planned on having it ready for today. Then I booked the studio session and prioritized that over this over the live stream, so that I didn't think I was going to stream today. And then yeah, today came. Wasn't really comfortable enough to start using it on stream to be able to, I wasn't comfortable enough with using it to be able just to demonstrate it on stream and also just show whether or not this would be a good product for you to invest in as yourselves. So probably gonna hold off on that idea for next week. Don't want to go into too many details about it because I kind of want to keep it I don't want to still keep it a surprise, but I guess that for lack of a better term. But anyways, yeah, I'm always open for hearing new suggestions about the live stream. I'm always open to receiving suggestions, advice. If there's something else, or if there's anything different that you want to see or want me to experiment with, I'm always open for that. Because yeah, I really want to focus on building a really dope, tight-knit community of other like-minded producers and artists, and always want to try to find new ways to add value to the people who watch these videos in the best way possible. So if you have any Randy, we're back. Yeah, man, I saw that you came in like right at the end of the stream on Tuesday, so my bad for ending that one a bit early. I had a lot of work that I had to knock out, so I did have to cut that stream a bit early, but we're in here today, so I'm gonna be in here for at least until around 2 o'clock. I do have other work I gotta knock out as well. Definitely not nearly as much as I had on Tuesday in terms of specific like client work. That's more so on a deadline. Because of course I got work every day. But yeah, just switching a couple settings over here in Logic to make sure that we can hear the audio correctly. So you forgot it. You got workouts to do. You cannot forget the workouts. Magnivore, how you doing? Glad to see you in here. Yeah, but today you can chill. Yeah, I'm working out. Yo, before I get into this beat, let's emphasize how important working out is for music producers specifically. That's something that's like not talked about in this community at all, but it's so important. Because think about this. We probably have one of, if not the most sedentary jobs ever. We literally just sit down at a computer all day. Well, maybe not all day if you don't work full time, but I mean, basically our job is to literally sit down and make music and for however long that we have available to make it. And that's like sitting down for all those hours throughout the day, like that's not healthy. So for me personally, I try to work out pretty much every day, or at least 5 to 6 days out of the week, because I'm literally just sitting down all day. And I mean, of course I like what I do, but I mean, let's be real, we're not moving. It doesn't take that much cardiovascular work to tap on a drum machine or tap on a piano. So I'm hitting the push-ups now. If I don't work out, the leads just repeat in my head. Yeah, so I mean, even if you're doing something as simple as doing push-ups, I mean, you gotta do something. All of us producers, we need to do some form of exercise so that we can keep ourselves healthy. Because, yeah, sure, like if you're someone who can literally sit down for 3, 4, 5, 8 hours, 10 hours straight and make beats all day, cool, good for you, that's fire. But in terms of like your like longevity, in terms of like your actual health, is gonna deteriorate at some point. So I highly recommend find some way to get some type of movement or some type of activity going on in your life, whether it's something as simple as walking around your neighborhood for 30 minutes to an hour, whether you're someone who likes to lift weights, which is what I personally like to do. Got weights over, can you see in the camera? I don't know, but I got dumbbells in the corner of the room. Lift weights like 4 days out of the week. I do ab and cardio work 2 days out of the week. Yeah, if you like running on a treadmill. So Dr. Dre does this a lot. Yes, you know why? That's one of the reasons why Dr. Dre is one of the GOATs, because he recognizes the importance of health and he makes sure that he gets it in at the gym. Dre is someone who I definitely look up to. And Dre is a pretty decent figure for someone who's what is like, he's like 50s or 60s. I don't remember how old he is, but he's getting up there in age. No offense to him, but he also does recognize the importance of his health, and yeah, he works out as well. So if you don't want to listen to me, listen to Dre. I don't know. Who else works out? Also, I know DJ Payne 1 is another producer in this community. I know he exercises regularly. Curtis King does as well. If you watch his vlogs, you'll see him hitting the gym. Who else? I know Kyle Beats. I don't think he hits the gym, but I see him like running in some of his vlogs. So Eazy-E Eazy-E dissed him so bad that's his motivation. I don't know if that's actually true or not, but if it is, I mean, then that works for him. I'm trying to think about other people who also work out, who also like producers. Well, he's not a producer, but Busta Rhymes. I know he's serious about his health as well. They're just, I think there aren't a whole lot of videos that really talk about it, but I definitely, so Tupac was a beast. Biggie had a lot of health problems. Yeah, Pac definitely looked like he was in decent shape. Biggie did not. But I mean, yeah, this isn't really a conversation that's held too much in music in general, but especially with music producers. Like, I feel like, I mean, it's also important for artists as well, but I feel like some artists, specifically the ones who specifically the artists who perform at concerts a lot more often, I feel like the concerts themselves are work in terms of, like, you know, being able to rap or sing on stage and move around and have energy. So I feel like an artist may naturally be a bit more inclined to do some type of to do some form of exercise in some way, whereas producers, for the most part, we're not really performing live like that. For the most part, we're kind of either just, you know, we're making beats in the studio or hitting up artists on social media, which really just involves us just sitting down all day. So yeah, that's definitely a topic that needs to be talked about a lot more. It's being able to find different ways to be active and take care of our health, because yeah, as much as a workaholic you may be, as much as you may think may be able to get stuff done in the studio, whether if you're just putting in long hours, at some point that sedentary lifestyle is going to catch up with you, and it's just not gonna. The results may not be good. So done with that rant. I ranted long enough. I think that we are good to go. So let's go ahead and let's get started for today. Let's close out of anything that we don't need. Close out the browser. Close out Spotify. Let's switch over to Logic Pro 10. Wow, cool. Okay, I found something I wanted to use. Where are my folders? And I closed out of it, so let's go find it again. What beat are we making today? I'm not really sure quite yet. I'm just gonna find a loop from a pack that I just downloaded this morning, and cook it from that. Can you explain the 808? Like how to tune 808s, or like 808s and like the concept of an 808? Because in Logic is like in Logic it's really easy to actually tune an 808. And I did make a video on how to actually do it, and I can demonstrate it here, as well as send you the link to that video if you would like. Let's find that sample pack that I was in. This is the one. Yes. Okay, cool. Let's find. Oh, no, let's see what this sounds like. I'm sorry. Yeah, so what specific question did you have about the 808? I'm sorry. That's cool. I like that. Let's also see what else is in here. I want to hear a couple of these loops. Oh, this is hard. So if you're familiar with oh, you can't hear it without headphones. Okay, so I'll get in that in 1 second. So if you heard of a producer named Gummy Beats, he's a really popular producer within the online producer community. He's famous for, of course, selling beats on BeatStars, as well as getting a lot of his tracks placed in TV and film. And he just put out a free pack on his website earlier, so that's actually where this loop is coming from. Now, okay, so now bass without being able to hear it on your so you can't hear it without earphones. When I play on my computer, I can't. Yeah, so with bass, so on different types of speakers, like cheap headphones or cheap computer speakers, since they are smaller in size and just generally not as high quality as something like studio monitors or just better high quality headphones, a lot of those devices, they can't play back lower frequencies. So good example, cell phone speakers. We all have smartphones. Most smartphone speakers can't play anything under, I think it may be like under 100 hertz or 90 hertz. Somewhere between like 60 and 100 is like their cutoff, which basically, let me pull up an EQ to actually demonstrate for you. So, oh, EQ, come on. So, okay, so basically, I don't know what the exact EQ curve is for a cell phone, of course. But basically, your bass lives over here in this region, typically. You know, like, I mean, over here, I guess, yeah, I think 200 starts where, like, it's considered, like, mids. So anywhere between, like, 0, basically, to around, like, 150, I think is where that cutoff is. That's where your low end is. Your cheaper computer speakers, phone speakers, all this information right here, they can't pick that up. Why? Because they're just smaller speakers. So basically, if you want to be able to hear 808s on smaller speakers like cell phones or anything like that, you're gonna have to find a way. Well, not find a way. It's a really easy trick, honestly. It's one, either use an 808 sample that has some form of distortion in it already, or just mix it in when it comes to mixing your beats. So just to show for a quick example, Just gonna show the technique. I'm not really gonna show what it sounds like. I'm just gonna show the technique just so we can start getting to the beat. Basically, let's say this track was your 808. Let's say it was only, let me pull out this EQ again. Let's say it mostly had information, not right there, come on. Let's say it mostly had information over here, right? So of course that's not gonna pop up on a phone speaker or any type of speaker that doesn't really have any low end inside of it. So a trick that you can do is you can find some form of distortion. This is my favorite stock distortion from Logic, the Bit Crusher, and you can just mix it, play with the drive, and mix it in over here with the mix knob. That you can just pretty much dial in how much of it you want inside. That's just one example of a distortion plugin. That's one thing you can do. Putting the distortion directly on the bass, though, that can take away some of that low end. So depending on the sound that you want, you may not want to put it directly on the 808. You could. It's not necessarily right or wrong either way. It's just depending on the sound that you want. If you want to, for example, if you want to maintain some more of that low end, but still mix in that distortion so you can pull out some of those lower mids, which those really do pop out on smaller speakers. What you can do is, or what I actually do is, I have a preset actually I'm gonna pull up that I use. So I stumbled on this somewhere online, and I just kind of just copied their EQ curve, and then I just dialed in my own distortion that I like. Basically, let me backtrack. So first, I set up this bus over here, so that way you can mix in this effect over here, right? So I had this bus, and then I have this EQ. Close out some of these windows now because it's getting confusing. So now I have this EQ right here where I cut out pretty much all the low end, everything below 230 hertz. Then I boost a little bit over here at let's see, at like 1K. Just a little bit over there, and then of course you can tailor that however you want it to sound. That just sounds good to me. And then I have just a distortion plugin. This is my personal favorite distortion plugin that I have, Berserk from Waves. You also can use whatever distortion you want, and then just dial in whatever setting you want. And basically what this is doing is, so this is where your 808s normally live, right? Everything under like 100 hertz. In order for it to play on a phone speaker that doesn't have this information, you just need information over here in the lower mids. That so where like it doesn't sound like high and piercing, and it doesn't like conflict with other instruments, like let's say for example a piano or vocals. But it does, you're able to mix in basically information that will play back on a smaller, on a less high quality speaker, pretty much. So if you ever been wondering, oh, you said I got is like when to edit the vocals and remove all the sounds below 20 hertz, I guess, because that is useless information. Yeah, pretty much. So like a really, if you're just getting started out with mixing, let's take away all this stuff now. Yeah, so basically when you get started with mixing, one of the best things you can do to start out with to get a really clean mix is taking out low end information out of everything that does not need it. For example, vocals don't need anything below like 100 hertz. Unless it's like a really deep voice, maybe you might want to cut it off after like 80. But for the most part, vocals don't need anything under around 100 hertz. Same thing with snare drums, melody loops that don't need that low end information. You can cut all that stuff out, and then you can make room for your 808, so that way that can shine. So then that way, also is just your song or your beat in general is just less muddy. And then when it comes to actually mixing your 808, sometimes a lot of times actually your 808 samples can sound pretty good just straight out the box, and it's not that much you want to add to it. Like you may not always need to like boost the low end inside of a 808, just depending on the song and the quality of the sample that you used. But if you did notice that you're not really able to hear it on a smaller speaker, then I would recommend doing something like I just showed right here, which is adding some distortion to it, and just mix it into taste, and then that way I can bring out some of the lower mids and also make it sound louder on a smaller speaker. One other thing you also can do is use some form of an exciter to add harmonics to the bass, which it's pretty much similar to adding distortion, just in a different way. I have this plugin over here from Waves called Max Bass, which basically, I might not be able to explain it perfectly, but basically what this plugin does is you can choose which frequencies you want to pretty much accentuate, and then it's just adding harmonics too, which is a form of distortion. So for example, by adding like sliding the knob up like this, I'm pretty much adding harmonics all throughout here, but focus on 125 hertz. This just basically like this curve right here, and that will on this little trick right here will help it. It's another way to also make your bass pop out on smaller speakers, or just speakers in general that don't really have any low end inside of them. Something that I may not recommend to do is just, and it really does depend on the bass. So I'm not saying don't do this ever. Something I would be cautious of doing is a better way to say it. I would be cautious of just going onto your bass, seeing that you can't hear it on your phone speaker, and then doing something like this. Because your phone speaker can't really play that information back anyways. So, and also by doing this, maybe that does sound good for that specific 808 sample, but if you like crank it a lot, you may just notice that it starts to distort. It may just get really muddy, and depending on this really does depend on the context of your song. You may not want it to do something like that. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. But if your goal is to have a clean mix where you can hear your bass, but it's not like over the top, like just way too loud in terms of like drowning everything out, you may not want to do something like that. You may want to either add some distortion to it, maybe use a plugin like Max Bass or R Bass, which I don't have, but it does the same thing. Do something like that, and then you can make your 808s pop out on smaller speakers. Magnumore asked, what are some of my favorite go-to plugins? Great question. And then after this, we'll actually start getting to the beat for today. My bad. I hope this does help, by the way. Favorite go-to plugins. In terms of VSTs, I'll say, got it, thanks, I was worried. Oh yeah, no problem. Yeah, it's at some point that actually would be a good video to or that would be a good topic rather than covering a full video. So that I'm gonna take note of that and actually make an official tutorial on that at some point. So we can explain that in a more concise way. But yeah, there's nothing to worry about. Just just find some way to maybe like experiment with some distortion. Yeah, like I said, my personal favorite stock distortion in Logic is the Big Crusher. These other distortions sound good as well. I used to use this one all the time, Distortion 2. Which preset did I use? I think I used like the Growl preset or something like that, and I would just drive it up. But yeah, just play around with different things like that, and then you'll get your 808s to shine on smaller speakers. Some of my favorite go-to plugins. I use Complete from Native Instruments. Well, the Complete's not a plugin, but Complete comes with several different VSTs inside of it, basically. I started off with the first plugin suite I ever got was Complete 10. I currently have, I think this is 12. Yeah, 12. So that Complete is dope because it covers pretty much all your bases. Like it has multiple different synths with thousands and thousands of different presets. It also comes with Guitar Rig, which is another one of my favorite plugins that I use. To color different sounds, not even just guitars, but different sounds in general. If I want to add just different effects on it. I think Complete 14 comes out next year. Yeah, Complete 13 came out last year. I believe they do updates every other year. I didn't get Complete 13 because I didn't get Complete 13 for the same reason why I didn't get Complete 11. It's just because jumping from like one Complete to the next, at least for me anyways, it didn't really seem like it was worth it. Not because any of the plugins were bad. It's just for the amount of money that you would pay, I just want to get the most value out of it. So for me, I'm probably gonna update again when Complete 14 comes out, especially if it has something. I mean, Complete 13 has some really cool things in it too. Like it finally updated Guitar Rig. Added other stuff too. Honestly, I don't even remember what it added, to be honest. But by the time Complete 14 comes out, I believe you can upgrade for unless they change it for next year. I'm pretty sure you can upgrade for the same price. And you get a lot more. So I do like updating my sounds here and there just so I can stay up to date, make sure that my sounds don't sound dated. But I mean, at the same time, also it comes with so many plugins that even if I didn't upgrade when Complete 14 comes out, there's a lot of stuff in Complete that I haven't even used to its fullest potential. So I'm not in a rush. Another favorite synth of mine is Serum. If you listen to any EDM music, you definitely heard this synth at some point. The two most, I don't know about like currently, but at one point, the most used synths when it came to like future bass, house, dubstep was Massive by Native Instruments, which also comes with Complete, and Serum, which a lot of people still use Serum to this day. Serum's really good for sound design. A lot of people don't really like their stock presets that much, which, I mean, honestly, I don't use any of their stock presets. I just downloaded a bunch of different packs um, from the other sound designers. Well, mainly one sound designer, to be honest, but from a couple different packs that I found online, and I pretty much just used those type of just other sounds that I download. It's really good for sound design. I'm not really that good at making sounds from scratch. Not that I'm not good at it. I just haven't really put in any time to really study it. But Serum's really dope. I haven't really used a lot of the stock presets, to be honest. Main reason why I got it is because I would keep getting different Serum packs or different packs that different Massive expansions actually, different preset packs from Massive that also came with packs from Serum, and I was like, wait a minute, I can't use half of the stuff that I'm paying for because I don't have Serum. Well, let's go ahead and buy it. But yeah, I love Serum a lot. Pretty much, if I make like a pop beat, pop or like an electronic beat, there's some instances of Serum in there. Serum's really good for hip hop as well. I like this pack over here from Echo Soundworks X Keys. I use that in, like, you know, sometimes I use it for hip hop, sometimes I use it for lo-fi. But yeah, that's another favorite of mine. The third one I'll cover, my third go-to is Omnisphere. Omnisphere is probably one of, if not the most used VSTs right now, or over the past couple of years rather. Using a variety of different genres of music, of course, hip hop, trap, pop, EDM, all that type of stuff. Omnisphere has I think it has almost as much, if not more, sounds than Complete. I think. The difference between Omnisphere and Complete, though, is that Complete, it comes with more than just one synth, and also it comes with different things that you can, like, outside of synths. So, like, it comes with Contact, which is a really good sampler. Comes with Guitar Rig, comes with different even like effects plugins like ROM, which is a reverb. Like it comes with like a flanger, a phaser, a delay, and all that. While Omnisphere, for around the same price, just comes with the synth itself. So if you wanted to get one of them first, I would probably recommend Complete, since it's what it sounds like. It's complete. It comes with pretty much anything and everything that you need. Even including even like Complete even comes with I forgot about this because I don't use them as much anymore because now I have UAD. Complete also has an EQ and a couple of compressors in it as well. So it literally has, I mean, I don't really use them that much. I don't see other people using the EQ and compressor that much, but I mean, it comes with pretty much everything you need. Whereas Omnisphere, for around the same price, not that it's a bad thing, but for around the same price, it just comes with the synth itself, which is still, it's one of the best synths that you can get. It's one of the it's also really good for sound design. I need to start diving into it more myself, just because I have it. I just don't dive into sound design just because there's other things I prioritize. But if you're someone who needs, if you like using a whole lot of different types of presets, if you're into sound design, Omnisphere is probably the way for you to go as well. What else about? Oh yeah, and also with Omnisphere, the same thing as with Serum and with Massive, and probably a lot of other different plugins as well. You can buy different different expansion packs basically, so you can add to the already large arsenal of sounds that's in there. You can pretty much add different sounds in there from like other sound designers, other producers, in addition to the stock Omnisphere sounds, and pretty much you can have like an endless supply of sounds. So that's why, honestly, those are like the three main, even though Complete's more than just one VST, but I mean, just for the sake of simplicity, yeah, the three go-to plugins pretty much is anything from Complete, Serum, and Omnisphere. I kept it to really mostly those just because you can do so much with them that not that you don't need anything else, but for me is like, especially since I mostly use loops anyways, just having like every single plugin on the market right now, it just wouldn't make sense. Like, you can do so much with them, and there's so much I haven't done with with them yet that for me it doesn't really make a lot of sense to drop another 200, 300, $400 on another VST. You know what I mean? Not to say that I want at some point, because I do want to expand my sound out. Just try different things and just see if there are any other products that I'd also be interested in that also can add to my arsenal. But I mean, like between all those, there's so much that you can do with them that they don't really sound outdated to me, and you can add new sounds to them. Like for example, you can add new sounds to Serum and Omnisphere. So I mean, I don't know. Well, not that I don't know, but I mean, for me, it just seems more worth it just to stick with those right now for my personal workflow. But all that stuff is up to you. Some people like having a bunch of different options to choose from. For me, I'm a creature of habit. If there's something I like, I kind of stick with it for a while. If I get bored of it with something like Omnisphere, I'll just buy like another expansion pack, or same thing with Serum or Massive and things like that. So yeah, but at some point, like there are other VSTs that look really dope too that I've heard about. I never tried Nexus. Well, that's not true. I've never owned Nexus. I've tried using Nexus at someone else's studio, I think like once or twice. But Nexus looks really cool. I might get it at some point. I don't know. It doesn't really seem like something I need, but it's another popular one. Arcade, I don't use it, but I used it once at someone else's studio as well. Also, I just sat in on a session where they were using it. It looks cool. The reason why I didn't get it is because even though it's relatively cheap, I just don't want to pay the monthly subscription fee. I prefer using plugins where you pay that one-time fee, even if it's a bit more expensive. Up front, you just pay the one-time fee and like that's it. I'm not opposed to using Arcade, but it doesn't look like something I would use a lot, to be honest. And then even with that, I just don't want to. Even though like it's not that much money, but I just don't. I prefer not to pay a monthly fee, especially for something I don't really think I'm gonna use that much. But Nexus is cool. Arcade's cool. What's another? Arturia has some plugins that look cool. I haven't really tried those out, but I've seen other people use them. But yeah, those are like pretty much my main go-to plugins. Yeah, I've ran it for a long time. But this is dope. I do hope that you're gaining some good value from this. Let's go ahead and actually work on this beat now. You also would prefer one-time purchase over a monthly subscription? Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's worth it if you're someone who it would be worth it if you used it all the time. You know, like just for me, Arcade looks dope, but like I use loops from other places anyways, a lot of times anyways. So I just don't know if I personally would use it a lot. Not that no one. Ooh, right, I messed this up. Wait, let me turn flex off. I did not put down the BPM. But anyways, yeah, for other people really like Arcade. It looks like a really cool plugin. Like it's quality. It's just for me, I just don't know how much I personally would use it. But other people love it. I say if you like the sound of it, if you like the different things they can do, I say get it. Why not? It's just not really something. I'm not opposed to getting it. It's just I personally wouldn't use it a whole lot, but to each their own. I do recommend people at least try it out though. Okay, let's hear this. Let's vibe out. Another really quick tip: drink the water. I drink it slow because I just put down the wrong pipe. Gosh, excuse me. Okay, cool. Did I put flex? Okay, I did. Okay, let's speed this up a little bit. Good night. Don't drink your water too fast, kids. Let's transpose this. Also route this all to one bus. Lots of good information. Yeah, went on a pretty decent long rant today, but I do hope that it is helpful at the end of the day. The bus loop, the loop bus, whatever the term is. Let's add some effects to it really quick. Go to origin from cymatics. This beat reminds me of Triple X. I can see something like that. Yeah, like those vocals could sound like something from X for sure. I don't want to add like a crazy amount of effects. I do want to color it up a little bit. I'm just curious. Let's hear what a drip would sound like on this too. Just curious. This one I'm probably might just dial in like relatively soft. Okay, that sounds cool. Let's mix this in. It already feels full. Yeah, exactly. So things like this, don't want to overdo it. But I do like changing up loops just enough so like, let's say like, because I mean, eventually someone's gonna have like use the same loop. So I like altering it in some way. So that way when inevitably when there is another beat with it out, they both sound completely distinct from each other. I don't know how many instruments or like melodic instruments I might add on top of this. Let's go ahead and add some drums. Go ahead here. I've been trying to, I don't know if I use a clap or a snare quite yet. I'm trying to experiment a little bit too, because I've been like mostly using claps for a while. Maybe a rim sound cool in this.